Hey guys, Jeff Manchester here. In this video, I want to share with you 7 or 8 things that I think you need to know when purchasing a new set of studio monitors. So let's say that you are getting your first pair of monitors, or you've had some for a while and you want to graduate to something new and more expensive. I think that there should be a couple things at the front of your mind because it's a big purchase and monitors are very personal and subjective. They should be working with you, not against you. And when you're sending out music to clients, they might be listening on a different output device, laptop speakers or an iPhone, and you want to make sure that your mix has translated well to all output variations out there. And you can't really do that unless you know what you're getting into with a new pair of monitors. I should mention that this is going to be in a series of videos. I'm going to make another video after this showing you how I monitor in my space, and maybe that'll give you some ideas for how to monitor in your own spaces. So tip number 1, buying monitors is like trying on shoes. What does this mean? In the city of Toronto here where I live, everyone has these Blundstone shoes. You see them all over the place. Really trendy, come in all kinds of colors and stuff. I like them and I went in to try a pair. Now, because I have like Hobbit E-width feet, it just didn't work. If I'd gone home with them, I would have been really uncomfortable and my feet would have been sore, but I'd be like, oh, I look really cool, But it's the same thing with monitors. You want to buy a monitor that is right for you. Just because it's right for someone else, or you see it all over the place in magazines and blogs and stuff like that, doesn't mean it's going to be the right monitor for your needs, or just for you, just totally subjectively. I got this shoe analogy from a mentor at my audio engineering school. He was in England, and someone had a pair of like Rockets, the KRK ones with the yellow cones. They sounded awesome to him. He brought them into his own studio when he came back to Toronto. Didn't work at all. So that's really important. Trying on monitors, trying on shoes, exact same thing. And on that note, if you are going to be buying new monitors, make sure that there is a good return policy, or make sure there is a return policy, because it's often the case that if you're going to special order some monitors from a music store, they won't take them back. But if they carry them on the floor, like they're in constant rotation in their stock, they will take them back, and that's good for you. Number 2, your room is as important as your speakers. A lot of the music that you love was recorded, or at least mixed, in a studio that spends thousands, if not millions of dollars controlling for bass frequencies. So this doesn't mean that you have to spend thousands of dollars. It just means that you have to do your best to treat your room. It doesn't mean you have to break the bank. You could buy Roxul Rockwool, just buy a big tub of it, $50, Home Hardware, Rona if you're in Canada. Bring it home, leave it in the corner. Wait a couple months, get a bit more money, go to a fabric store, cover it in some cloth. Wait another couple of months, get some beer for some friends, build some frames, and hang up your, that's what I did. You want to make sure that you're controlling as much of that bass as possible. Look into diffusion too. You could have great monitors, but if your room is causing trouble and working against you, that's bad news. If you've got flutter echoes and all kinds of weird resonant frequencies, stuff, music bouncing back and forth and meeting itself and comb filtering, that's not good. So make sure that your room is treated as much as you can on the budget that you have. And I think that in this day and age, you can come pretty close to controlling a lot of those broad-based frequencies. Number 3, it's important to break your monitors in. When you listen to them at the store, they might sound a little harsh, a little high. That's because in every professional monitor, you have what's called a spider. And without getting into too much detail, this just sits at the back of the driver. And 99% of the time, that spider, it's made of a certain kind of material that it's kind of baked in all this stuff. It's your job when you get your monitors to play music through them for like 50 hours. And what that's going to do is it's going to create cracks, and it's going to make that spider more malleable and softer. And this is going to result in like a 5 to 10 drop in resonant frequencies. So those sweet kind of tinny highs won't sound as high anymore. And running in or breaking in your speakers is going to restore your speakers to the original character that the manufacturer intended. Very, very important. On that note, if you walk into a store and you want to buy monitors and they have the floor monitors there, that's great, because chances are, you got to ask them, but chances are those have been on the floor for a while. They're already broken in, and you can probably get like $100 off per speaker. That's what I did with my Focals behind me here. So they're already broken in. That's awesome. So how should you break them in? Well, like I said before, 50 to 60 hours of music. Try and find something that's very bass heavy, that has like intense bass frequencies. I'd recommend, people always say like Asia by Steely Dan, but like the new Asia. What I mean by this is there's a record, a CD, a piece of music that seems to have endured as like the go-to album to test speakers with, and it's Asia by Steely Dan. It has a lot of, it's just extremely well mixed and mastered. So and there's a lot to sort of listen to. So if it's, you sort of put that CD in and listen back and go, okay, the bass is present, or it's not present here, or it's tight there, it's loose there, whatever. Anyway, it's a weird sort of test for how good your monitors are, or how your monitors sound. The new one seems to be Daft Punk's random access memories. I'd recommend breaking in your speakers with Doing It Right. That's the one that features Panda Bear. It's got way too much bass in a really good way, and you want something with low bass frequencies to really build the cracks in the spiders of your monitors. So breaking in or running in your monitors, super, super important. It's going to make everything better. And okay. The next tip: buy monitors that suit the music you're making. If you're making trap or hip hop or whatever, chances are you're going to want to go for like a 2.1 system. So 2 speakers plus a subwoofer for sub bass representation. If you're making, stuff for film and all that, you might get a director who wants a 5.1 mix from you. Well, you got to buy a 5.1 system. It's really important that you don't spend money on stuff you don't need, but the inverse is important too. And you're not going, I just spent all this money and now I just realized that I need more speakers. So know what kind of music you're making and the kind of monitors that are going to be best suited to your own needs. The next tip: it costs what it sounds like. And what I mean by this is there is, like anything in life, a correlation between the amount of money you're spending and the quality. There's a big difference between commercial and professional studio monitors. Commercial monitors have all kinds of weird audio trickery in them, like Beats by Dre and Bose. They sound great for like leisure listening, but there's all kinds of kind of EQ curves applied and baked in to the circuitry, and just funny electro techniques that make those speakers or those headphones sound way bassier and all this stuff. You don't want color when you're monitoring. This is just my opinion, by the way. You can disagree with this, but you want a flat, neutral sound because you want your monitors to be exposing problems in your mix. You don't want them to sound extra bassy and extra high and all the rest of it. You want them to be neutral so that you can identify problems and mistakes and fix those things. And then the guy listening to to your track on Beats headphones, he's going to be really delighted because everything's going to sound really good because you mixed on a neutral system. So that's very, very important. The next thing, really 2 points. Consider a distribution box. What that is you can route multiple speakers so that you can A/B between sets of speakers. I don't know if you can see it behind me, but I have a pair of NS10s. These are probably seen them in every studio setup in the world. They're known for being extremely revealing. They're just great for pointing out flaws in your mix, but also if you can make, the rumor goes, the magic is that if you can make something sound great on NS10s, they'll sound good on any other output format. So get a distribution box. The one that I have is $100 in Canada, so it's like $20 in America. I can plug in 3 different output sources, 2 input sources, and there's a headphone cue too, which is very helpful. And there's a mono switch, so I can quickly monitor my mix in mono. All that means is when you hit mono, you're summing the left and right information from a stereo mix. Now, doesn't mean there's a copy of left and right. It's just different information on both sides. It sums those to the middle, and you're listening to the mono signal. And the reason people still press the mono switch is because there's still mono output formats, like clubs, for example. They're all mono. Monitoring your mix in mono, having a distribution box, and switching between monitors to make sure that your mixes are translating between those and will eventually translate to other output devices is super, super important. So that's it for now. As I said, I'll have another video coming up soon where I show you how I monitor and what I look for and what I listen for when I'm monitoring. And hopefully that'll get you guys started on a path to getting your first set of monitors or graduating to a cooler, more expensive pair. If you have any questions for me, YouTube, Twitter, you know where to find me. Thanks for listening and thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.